She would feed and wash the children.
Oh, Charlotte was a brilliant pupil. It was a blessing to me when she later became a teacher at the school. It enabled Emily and Anne to attend for free. Most satisfactory arrangement.
But Charlotte hated teaching at Roe Head. And even though she was 19, she retreated into her fantasy land, conjuring up new adventures for the sensuous Zamorna.
One night, sickened by the dull stupidity of my pupils, I lay down upon my bed, and I saw Zamorna, a figure of flesh and blood. His sable crest undulated as the plume of a hearse waves to the wind. I was quite gone. I felt myself breathing quick and short as I beheld him. I had utterly forgotten the gloom of my situation.
Mrs. Bronte!
I turned, and he was gone.
Unlike Charlotte, Emily was painfully shy and reserved with people. She was a free spirit who had a wild and passionate love of nature. When she made one brief attempt to become a teacher at a school called Law Hill, she told her pupils that she preferred the school dog to any of them.
When Emily grew up and taught her how to shoot, she was a woman who had no fear. She handled a pistol like a man.
As soon as the holidays came, the young Brontes rushed home. The childhood closeness between Charlotte and Branwell had always been tinged with rivalry, and this increased as they grew up. Charlotte made fun of Branwell's artistic ambition by inventing a caricature of him called Benjamin Patrick Wiggins.
Benjamin Patrick Wiggins is a low, slightly built man, attired in shirt sleeves and raven grey trousers, his hat placed on the back of his head to reveal a bush of carroty hair.
As a musician, he is greater than Bach.
As a poet, he surpasses Byron.
There are three who are honoured to possess him as a brother.
They are Charlotte Wiggins, Emily Jane Wiggins, and Anne Wiggins. They're all miserable, silly creatures. He, however, will attend the Royal Academy, and his name will live forever, while the Miss Wigginses will be remembered for nothing but a yard of plain sewing and a jar of pickled cucumbers. In fact, I will remove his image in case it becomes tainted by their idiocy.
Oh, Branwell! Oh, you ridiculous boy.
I heard him a painting master, but he said that Branwell never took the time to learn the rudiments of anatomy, or even how to mix his paints properly. Perhaps the boy had too many talents.
But Charlotte was desperate for expert advice and would send her poems to the greatest writers of the day. She didn't always appreciate their replies.
In the opinion of our poet laureate, literature cannot and should not be the business of a woman's life. You who so ardently desire forever to be known as a poetess should write poetry for its own sake and not with a view to celebrity, or with a view to earning a living.
You evidently possess what Wordsworth calls the faculty of verse. Charlotte, Robert Southey thinks you have talent.
The daydreams of glory in which you indulge are likely to induce a distempered state of mind. I know I'm too plain and self-willed ever to marry, but I always thought there would be some way for a woman to support herself that didn't involve wiping the dirty noses of other people's brats. I see I was wrong. If ever the wish should rise again to see my name in print, I'll look to Southey's letter and suppress it. Ow!
At least Charlotte was getting replies. Branwell was also desperate to see his poems in print, but his letters went unanswered.
Dear Sir, as editor of Blackwood's magazine, I implore you, do not act like a commonplace person, but like a man with a mind of his own. Do not turn from the naked truth of my letters, but prove me. Publish me.
Branwell's great friend was his father's sexton, John Brown. They spent hours together in the Black Bull, talking over Branwell's ambitions.
Branwell had a streak of impetuosity, a coating of pride, and a mind of his own. You need another 2 terms to refine your technique, says his painting master. What I need, says Branwell, is to set up on my own and you can go to the devil, sir. So he ups and goes to Bradford and starts painting portraits.
Anne decided that she must find a job. So she took a post as governess to the Ingham family at Blake Hall.
You mustn't do it. If it happens again, I'm going to have to tell your papa, and that won't be very good.
As the Brontes soon discovered, the lot of a 19th century governess was not a happy one.
You can't tell me what to do. You're just the governess. I hate you.
Anne used her experiences with the Ingham family in her novel Agnes Grey, in which she depicts a young governess who can neither keep control of her unruly charges nor gain the respect of her employers.
I can conceive few situations more harassing than that wherein, however you may long for success, however you may labour to fulfil your duty, your efforts are baffled and set at naught by those beneath you, and are justly censured and misjudged by those above.
In later years, Charlotte recalled how difficult they had all found their first encounters with the outside world.
Anne was having such a miserable time at Blake Hall, and Branwell's attempt to become a portrait painter in Bradford was not the singular success we had hoped it would be. He made a large circle of artistic friends and soon became financially embarrassed. He agreed to paint his landlady, the redoubtable Mrs. Kirby, as part payment of his rent. For some reason, she was less than satisfied with the result. Poor Branwell's career as a portrait painter came to nothing, and he returned home. But I didn't fare much better when I tried my hand at being a governess. There was never any privacy, no time to write or think, or even to reply to a most unexpected letter.
Dear Miss Bronte, I hold you in great esteem, and I need a wife to take care of my pupils. I would consider it a great privilege were you to consider being that wife. Henry Nussey.
Henry Nussey was the brother of Charlotte's friend Ellen, a worthy clergyman who offered her a respectable escape from a life of drudgery.
My dear sir, my answer to your proposal must be...
Miss Bronte, you're needed in the nursery.
One moment. Must be a decided negative. I will never, for the sake of attaining the distinction of matrimony and escaping the stigma of an old maid, take a worthy man whom I am conscious I cannot render happy. If I were ever to marry, there would have to be romance, love, adoration, and an attachment so great that I would be willing to die for the man.